Yes, family. So Easy's cooking up some sarsaparilla, mango leaf, pimento, and mix a little bit of the turkey tail, and lime main within this, But we got the sarsaparilla, cinnamon, bark, the mendia, yeah, the pimento, and etc. Yeah, and then straight after we're gonna put the sea moss in there. So stay tuned. After straining it out, yeah, all the herbs, yeah, I'm gonna add a bit of sea moss, yeah, or sea moss in there. As you can see, family, yeah. Let that simmer. This is gonna go straight into a drink, yeah. This is another way you can drink straight from herbs to seaweed, yeah. Stay tuned on what the drink that I make. This is all sarsaparilla. This is anything that helps the body, the iron, the mendia, the pimento, the yeah, and the turkey tail and all sorts, yeah. So yeah, Easy's gonna build about how to deal with catching colds and viruses, yeah. So that's what Eazy thought, yeah, let me just speak about, because last week I got hit with a cold, just a cold, because the thing is, yeah, when you deal with science, yeah, I understand the biology and the microbiomes and this biology and etc, yeah, and the phycology, yeah, we understand that at the moment scientists are discovering, and there's about 200 plus more different types of viruses, yeah, and you have different types. For example, you got RNA viruses and you got DNA viruses, yeah. The RNA viruses, as we know now, yeah, they're more effective, yeah, in a way of mutations and adaptations, yeah. RNA viruses, yeah, are the respiratory system viruses. These are the virus that are actually attached to your epithelial cells, yeah. So I'm just want to show you, it's a freestyle build, so it ain't nothing really much, but I'm going to show you how you can deal with viruses and how I dealt with my cold that I got, yeah. So this is how you deal with colds and next, yeah. I'm just going to show you the breakdown of how viruses and that. I'm going to use my board so you can just look at a little bit more to understand exactly what I'm talking about, yeah. So we got RNA viruses, yeah, DNA viruses, yeah. We should know RNA viruses. What's RNA virus? What's RNA means? It means the ribonucleic acid, yeah, yeah. So ribonucleic acid, that's what RNA stands for, yeah. The DNA is ribonucleic acid, yeah. So what does that mean? This means that the RNA has the extra oxygen in the structure, yeah. In the structure, you know how RNA, I broke down RNA and DNA in many other videos, the difference in the nitrogen and bases, the RNA's got the uracil, yeah, instead of the thymine, yeah. So that's what switches and turned over, yeah. So the ribonucleic acid viruses, yeah, they have the extra oxygen, yeah. What does that mean? That means that is more acceptable for moving around and going through adaptations, yeah. Because we know that DNA and DNA sits within a organelle which is called a nucleus, yeah. So this give you a little bit of heads up. This is how it works within a cell, yeah. So we got a cell here. You got the nucleus, you got the DNA, yeah, the information, yeah. You got the endoplasmic reticulum, and then they got the Golgi apparatus. You got the rough part, which has got the ribosomes, yeah, the ribosomes. Yeah, this is all amino acids, yeah, this is all polypeptides, yeah. This is, I'm just gonna I'm gonna run through it, you know, and you got the mitochondrial, which has got their own little DNA within inside it, mitochondrial, and it does its own little departments, yeah. So this the organelle. RNA, what does the DNA do? Has a message, it sends it through what you call the pre-RNA. The pre-RNA takes that take that message or the sequence from the DNA, turns it into messenger RNA. The messenger RNA turns into what you call messenger RNA, because it's sending the message. It sends it out of the nucleus, yeah, because of the extra oxygen. Goes through out the nucleus and into what you call the endoplasmic reticulum, where the translation happens. Yeah, this is where the instructions of what the DNA is manufacturing for the release out the cell. Then that's when the ribosomes and the polypeptides get manufactured and then concealed and then imported to what you call the rRNA, which is enters into what you call the Golgi apparatus, where the manufacturing structure or field or cell gets packaged, yeah, and sealed, and then it releases out, and then this is what it produces, you know, proteins and other manufactured cells, yeah. This is the purpose. This is the difference between how DNA and RNA works. RNA moves, yeah, transforms and mutates and etc. It moves freely within the cell, yeah. So we know that RNA viruses are more acceptable for mutations and movements, yeah. So that's just give you a little bit of an understanding of how RNA and DNA works. DNA doesn't move from the nucleus, you know, so it stays within inside. So this is just give you a little bit of understanding how it works with the RNA and DNA and the difference, you know. The RNA's got the extra oxygen, so it's more freely. RNA viruses enters. Where's that pen? RNA viruses enters. Where's that pen? Why don't we put this little pen? RNA viruses enters. Yeah, and then it picks up via receptors, yeah, you know, the what receptors were the TMPR protease 2, and then you got the spike protein, yeah, that it attaches to, and then with that information the RNAs get pushed through, yeah, once it's may exit, and then the RNA travels into what you called the DNA, and that's when it inputs the information, yeah. The information reboots the system and then starts breeding more different types of viruses. Or it can also cause cell death, and it kills the cell and it spreads out many little viruses of etc, yeah. So this is how viruses work within your cell, yeah. So understanding that RNA virus pick up on certain symptoms, yeah. So certain symptoms because it picks up on epithelial cells. Epithelial cells is the only cells that the RNA virus is attached to, yeah. This is all the areas where you can find your olfactory system, the gustatory system, all the way down to we're talking about the whole respiratory tract, the esophagus and all that type of tracts. It's all governed by epithelial cells and more, yeah. So we know that these are the areas where you would get affected. Your larynx, your throat, nasal, them areas there, yeah. So we know when we deal with RNA viruses, we know exactly where it attacks and what it would do, yeah. And then as I broke down with the COVID-19 and how it kills you and how it causes the immune system to run riot, you know, causing inflammation, the mediators to enter in what you call the respiratory tract, yeah, where your bronchus area and your alveoli bulls are, causing restriction for your airflow. You know, we know that those inflammation mediated inside the immune system, the immunoglobulins, which cause the T cells and B cells, which end up causing what you call the cytokine storm, yeah, which floods into the area. The inflammation, the mediators, mucus build up within those areas, cause restriction, and then it might cause the ARD, yeah, the acute respiratory disease, and this is what kills you, yeah. So that's the worst effect of what an RNA viruses can do to you, especially when it comes to COVID, yeah. So you want to be prepared for that. But the misunderstanding of how certain factors of your body works to eliminate these type of viruses, yeah. One of them is inflammation, yeah. Inflammation, inflammation mediators, yeah. The mucus build. People I'm talking about inflammation like it's a all bad thing. Inflammation is needed. Mucus is needed. They are needed for how they catch and conceal viruses and locate them in and conceal them from one area, you know. So we need these, yeah. Our actual immune cells, yeah. No, the mucous membrane produce those when the surroundings is been alerted for a virus or pathogens been spreaded, you know. Like, so as the cell is called, as the virus causes cell death, spreads out the little mini versions of their viruses, yeah. The mucous membranes releases out the mucus, which conceals these viruses from spreading via, you know. And then the inflammation mediators also do so to lock them in, and then the T cells and the B cells which comes along and then wipes them out, yeah. But this is where it can cause restrictions and damages to what you called your alveoli balls, you know. And this is where it can cause death, you know. So this is how it works, yeah. I just had an ugly sight, some crazy guys doing some madness, boy. But anywho, so this is how you would fight off viruses, yeah. If you come across it, I come across a virus, I don't know which one, I took a test, it's not COVID, you know. But I just want to show you how you can just knock it out of your system real quick. 4 days. They're trying to say that that having a virus within your body more than 2 weeks, then you might have a problem with your immune system, yeah. Having a strong immune system beats out viruses as soon as it get in contact, where you have symptomatic response, where you don't actually get where it don't actually cause you harm. But the ones that actually does cause you harm, it should take no longer than 2 weeks, yeah, for your body to just release out the viruses, yeah. I had a virus from Tuesday, knocked it out today, basically, yeah. And I want to show you the method and what I use to knock it out, because for one, viruses are gonna hit certain areas of your body, like your nasal, start getting the mucus, the blocked nose, you get the sore throat, you can even get the cough, you know. So we know that it's all in that area here, your nasal cavity, your larynx, the top of the esophagus, and you know, areas like that. When it gets to the hard coughing, where you're coughing out, then you know that is entering near your lungs, you know that we got the virus deep in within your respiratory tract here, when you're having that hard cough, you know. So it like your body does tell you exactly, well, you can work out exactly how far the virus has gone into your body, yeah. Yeah, so what I would use, yeah, like I said, the inflammation mediators, people use that and say that and talk about that like it's a bad thing. It actually contracts and holds pathogens once they cause death to a cell and spreads out to the area. Mucus has to be produced by the mucous membrane, and inflammation mediators have to be produced for it to conceal the virus, making sure that it don't spread out too far, you know. And then it alerts the immunoglobulin should alert the T cells and B cells, which then enters into the area to wipe them out, yeah. So inflammation and mucus is needed for the capture of pathogens, yeah. And then yeah, so we go on. I'm trying to find some tissue. So we go on more. Another misnomer that people use, yeah, is another one, the fact that when kids or adults get hot, you know, when kids and adults pick up a temperature, yeah, especially when they get the cold or the common cold, a lot of people run to their aid, thinking that they're gonna pass out, or they grab a ice pack, you know, and they shall cool them down. The thing is that the body is actually producing these heat temperatures to actually fight the inflammation and mediators. The heat temperatures help fight off these pathogens, you know. So we need to keep the heat, you know, This is how we fight against the pathogens. You sweat it out. You see, you fight against them by keeping a hot temperature within your body. So that means that when you go sleep, you make sure you're layered up. You cover up your areas. You know, you wear the extra top. You know, or make sure you got the duvet on. A lot of people sleep duvet cover less. You know, you know, you have to make sure you cater to certain areas when you got a cold. You make sure you're hot. So when you're asleep, you're sweating, yeah, because now your body's at a hot temperature that the virus is finding it hard to even survive in, you know. So making it restricted for the virus to do and movement, because the cold don't cause viruses. People catch cold in the colds or the flus, viruses in cold weather. And then I think that the cold weather is what produces these viruses. The cold weather is what keeps the virus more active, you know. The sun, as we know, the D3 that comes from the sun, it eradicates viruses, you know. Anything that's hot. So now, we understand that you want to keep warm, keep active, yeah. Another thing as well, keep it active. Active, you can't staying at home under a pillow, or where we're suffering, and then hoping that your immune system's gonna just wipe it out. It's not always the way, you know. You'll find yourself that you'll be sitting there for about 2 weeks, you know, before your immune system actually clears the viruses out. So you have to be more active, you know. You need to get up, walk, do something, go get fresh air. That's another thing as well. Fresh air, oxygen. You need to get your breather on, you know. I know it might be hard for a lot of people that are suffering, but you need to get that air. You need to get that sun. You need to get the vitamin D. So like I said, the vitamin D eradicates viruses. Hot temperatures eradicate viruses. So you need to consume everything that is warm or hot, you know, soups, you know. And then, yeah, like I build up, Eazi's got his little remedies when how he mixes up his different types of herbs, you know. And then he intracts the seaweed, yeah, with the 92 minerals, the sea moss within inside there. Keep it warm, and then don't even wait for it to even gel up. Drink straight from the bowl, you know, straight from how you cook it up, because now it's smoothing your larynx area and your throat and everything, yeah, with that gel form, because it's thickening, yeah. Also adding with the minerals that you need, that the cells need to actually stay active, you know, help the microbiome and the immune system, you know. Sea moss also is known for smoothing down the autoimmune disease, you know. Autoimmune disease. So it just keeps the immune system at buffer, you know. It don't have it over hyperactive state where it is runs and it starts wiping out everything, because this is where it can cause problems, especially if you got COVID, yeah. So there's many ways, yeah. Like I said, you have to make sure that you're consuming good foods as well, like no crap, you know. And then try to eat restrictedly, yeah. Don't overeat, you know. Soups is good to have when you have a cold, yeah. Teas, everything that's hot. Tea, I'm talking about herbal tea, yeah. Mixes algae, make sure it's all hot warm drinks that you're smoothing down, because this is also helps the mucus builds up more, so you can just like be phlegming a lot, you know. A lot of people see after they have come off this viruses, yeah, that they're coughing that green mucus type, yeah. And this is the offset of the cell death and the offcuts of the mini viruses that's been spreaded around your body. You're phlegming it all out, yeah. So this is another sign that you can look out for of your body's actually defeating these viruses. You should be able to knock out viruses using certain herbal remedies. Vitamin C, you know, you got the H Corolla with the highest vitamin C. You pop that in the morning, you know. You got your prebiotics that helps your microbiome, you know, be on top of game, because we need to make sure that the good bacteria outweigh the bad to help advance or even aid the immune system to fight against these pathogens, yeah. So there's many ways, yeah, but keeping everything warm is the way that you can fight viruses, yeah, you know. So when a child has got the over temperature, obviously check her temperature, but you know, the temperature, as long as they don't go overboard, then that's what the body is meant to be doing. don't like. There's a lot of misconception of where thinking that a lot of people go into panic mode. Yeah, when a child or anything goes through a hot temperature, it's your immune system and your body is fighting against the pathogen that's in it. You know, you want to keep them hydrated with water, alkaline water, because you want to keep the percentages of hydrogen ions within your cells. You know, feed your cells, feed the proteins and all that with potential no, with percentages of hydrogen. Yeah, so there's many factors that you can use. You can use coconut water to aid for the hydration as well. You need to drink a lot of warm water to just flush all the excess of the virus content into your cool now is your stomach acid, which kills them off, you know, the hydrochloric acid. So things like that. You need this. This is how you can beat the viruses. Yeah, as we know, the sea moss and the fungi, you got the turkey tail, they got the polysaccharide that helps against the viruses. You know, just keep everything warm, feed these to your cells, feed this to your body, and then and stay active. You know, like I said, active when you're like, even the mental can even play a role on how your immune system fight against these viruses. You know, feeling down and depression and thinking that everything's gonna come down and all that can also play a role, and then keep you down, you know, for 2 weeks. You know, you can or you can be up and running in 4 days. You know, so this is how Eazi builds. You know, yeah, so definitely the water, keep hydrated, the warm teas, the warm soups, you know, alkaline soups, or you know, the hot soups, you know, the chickpea soups. There's many soups that you can be making. The hot tea, make sure you have the sea moss, but drink it when it's warm, you know, not the cold, you know, because it's just everything can just smooth it down. The sea moss is there to smooth down the membrane. The sea moss is there to just push everything that's in your oral cavity down into what you call the hydrochloric acid, where it kills and wipes out all the viruses. You know, things like that, helping it push it through. You know, because it's a wipeout, it's a detox, it's a cleanser that your body needs to go through to get rid of these viruses. Make sure that your immune system not ramp riot, so you have to calm down your autoimmune system, or your immune system, and etc. You know, that's my advice that I would give to the people, you know. So I hope you enjoy that, and yeah, just a little bit of information that Eazi thought that I have to bring to the table, you know, because Eazi just came 4 days on this virus and beat it out, he knocked it out, you know. So this is what I use. You're gonna see what I soak up and I remedy up, you know. I got all the different types of herbs and all that, but make sure I warm up the sea moss so I can drink directly, because that's smooth. That's another thing. You need to feed your cells, you know, give your cells everything that it needs, you know, that for it to function and help, you know. Then you have to feed the microbiome, and then, you know, so it can aid the immune system to wipe it all out, you know. So this is how it goes, and this is the build. Eazi herbs, and peace out. Yeah, blessings.